All right, welcome to Lights, Camera, Barstool. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of news. We're going to talk about some stuff that came out recently. I think we're not going to be doing like a more traditional review. I think we'll talk more extended about the ending of Shogun because there's a lot to say about it, I think. And I haven't seen Challengers yet, but you have. The next one I am seeing, I just got my invite to the screener for the new Apes movie. Ape movie number 3 on the year.
I've been
Kingdom.
I'm flip-flopping on that movie. Every time I watch that trailer, I bounce before this is going to be like the movie of the summer, and this is going to be awful.
The fact
I can't get a read
Matt
on it.
Reeves not being in it is it's troubling. I think that's all I can say about it. But yeah, and obviously a couple of the movies out right now, but I think we'll mostly talk about that. And we're going to be doing a quick 5 movie streaming recommendation as well. I think next episode we'll do a end of the month streaming recommendation because I'll have that blog out for what's coming to streaming next month. But first on the news items, Aaron Sorkin's reportedly writing a movie about January 6th, which would be a quasi sequel to The Social Network. The focus of the film would be on the rise of misinformation online. Pass. I think we're at a point with Sorkin where he was such a good writer for the political sphere in the pre-Trump era. Post-Trump, I think he is just a broken brain guy that I don't want to hear his scripts on politics anymore. You know what I mean? He's a fantastic, phenomenal writer. I think when you go look at even beyond stuff that's outside of the true political sphere, obviously Social Network or Molly's Game, which I think is amazing. Great.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's kind of lost his fastball in the political sphere. And I think Chicago 7 is a great example of that. And I don't want no more of it.
What is he thinking? Who this is the Dave Chappelle Ja Rule. Somebody call Ja Rule. Does Aaron Sorkin think we want his opinion on January 6th or that we even want a movie on Jan 6th? That would be serious until if they're going to do a movie on Jan 6th, just make it a comedy. Just make it a comedy. I'm sorry. There's no way that I can look at the man dressed as I don't even know, a Viking. Yeah, whatever. And take it seriously. I don't know. And I just don't care for it. Sorkin, like you said, is an amazing writer. And he's just so caught up in the politics of I don't know. He's too online, ironically. For the guy who made The Social Network, he seems a little too online. This is the last, I think if I had to list out 5 things I would never want Sorkin to touch, this would be in that 5, I think. Be the Trump election, January 6th. Just stay away from
COVID.
Just eating the trash. Yeah, COVID. Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's the last person I really want to. I would agree with you. One of the last talented screenwriters in Hollywood that I would want to be touching that topic. You know what I mean?
It's him and McKay. McKay's falling down the same hole. Where it's dude, you're a great writer when you write about what you're know about.
Yeah. What you're slightly more knowledgeable about, or what you're, or when you write about something that's at least more entertaining. You know what I mean? I think they've both kind of just lost the art of subtlety, or maybe they never had it.
There needs to be a little separation for political movies. There needs to be a good decade and a half, before you try
6 years after January 6th. That's just not the right amount of time.
Yeah. There's no object. People are still too emotional about it both ways that putting out a movie about it isn't going to do you any favors.
Yeah, exactly. And his take on Civil War would actually be very funny, I think. If he were to make a Civil War movie, I would love to see what that, because it wouldn't be, it would the Garland ones that kind of mishmashed. I think that Sorkin would be very direct. It wouldn't be the Western Coalition. It would be the North being the fuck out of the people he thinks less than him, which are hillbillies in the South. So that would be his take on Civil War.
Yeah, it would. The whole thing would take place in boardrooms, talking about it would be the people in charge versus people on the ground.
Exactly. Steve Carell and Tina Fey are going to start a new comedy called Four Seasons. Follows a group of vacation friends and what happens when one of the couples splits up and the man brings a much younger woman on subsequent trips. Tell you what, they already made Vacation Friends.
This
with John Cena.
Vacation Friends couples retreat combo, I guess. Weird news item. Are they this desperate?
What was the last?
They're both very successful people. Despite not really having a ton of movie success, this is so weird. This is a dog shit thing to sign up for. I feel
for Carell, maybe he just wants to take a break from doing relatively serious stuff for the most part. Because I feel when's the last time Carell did a pure comedy movie? I couldn't even tell you.
Crazy Stupid Love, maybe.
But even then, that's like kind of borderline of like both of like a dramedy, I guess.
He did that movie. He did get his biggest mistake. He did Get Smart, and he let The Rock on the cast.
Get Smart.
Wasn't The Rock in that movie?
Yeah, which one is the one he did with Tina Fey? It was Date Night and
Get Smart.
No, Get Smart was Anne Hathaway. Never mind.
They're going back to that well.
Yeah. Let's see his last movies. I guess like Minions, but like not really. Like Minions, Asteroid City.
It's tough to count the children's animated roles because then like Sandler has got Hotel Transylvania.
Irresistible. I forgot about that. Do you remember that one with Rose Byrne? The political movie with Jon Stewart?
No.
Holy shit, dude. That was a stinker. Welcome to Marwin, Vice, Beautiful Boy, Last Flag Flying. Like, yeah, it's like all like relatively serious stuff with like a Despicable Me sprinkled in every now and then. So like maybe he just wants to.
He did that Flag movie and that Beautiful Boy movie were like the two saddest movies of 2018. Yeah. He was in both of them.
So maybe he just wants like to take a little bit of a break, which I respect, and do some like a live action comedy, which fine. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's been in such a weird spot where like I do think he's a legitimately talented like regular actor too, like non-comedy. But I don't think he's picked maybe the best projects, I guess. So I mean, he just wants to be
and I did say this isn't the project I'd pick for them. I think they're a little above it. But then again, that George Clooney, Julia Roberts movie came out last year or 2 years ago, and I kind of was shitting on the trailers for it. And then I ended up being very charmed by it.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly charmed by it.
It's just like, it's kind of nice to see like him do stuff like that again, I guess. Like, I feel like I missed that from him. At least from
Right, what we got next?
There's a new Deadpool trailer. Deadpool trailer was cool. Yeah, I mean, you get a lot more Wolverine. The first trailer was just kind of like a tease of Wolverine. This one's like all Wolverine. I feel like the expectations have become too high for this. Like if Marvel was still kicking at the level of Endgame Marvel, this would come out and I think it would be a great ad. But now I think because Marvel's been in like a downhill slide, people are expecting this to be a savior for the franchise, which it can't be. And it's not something it can do. And I think the expectations are going to be way too high going into it. And it has a higher potential to disappoint audience members.
Yeah, it's very strange after like a year of or probably like 3 years now of like resetting expectations and standards for what an MCU movie looks like right now, post Endgame, that they're like immediately like, oh yeah, this is going to be the one that it fixes everything. Like off of what?
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of indicators this will be a very fun movie. Like like Deadpool 2, I had a lot of fun with that too. But I don't think this is going to like move the MCU forward into like a new era.
No.
Like, at all.
No.
At all.
Not even a little bit. I think it'll make fun of some stuff within Marvel and everyone's gonna be like, oh, like point and laugh like fucking. It's one of my favorite gifs is the gif of like Patrick laughing like stupidly at the TV with like his teeth out. Like they'll make like some inside joke for Marvel fans making fun of Marvel and they're going, oh, and like that. And then we're gonna be right back to square one with non-Deadpool shit. So like it's really, I don't know. I don't know what people are expecting this to do. My expectations are much lower, I think, than most people's, and I think yours are too. Where we're just going to be expecting to have a fun time, which I think both Deadpools delivered. The first more so than the second, although I do like a lot about the second. It just, I will say too, I rewatched the first Deadpool recently.
Oh.
Some of the jokes just don't. They're cringy. It makes you cringe.
I've noticed this with a lot of Ryan Reynolds stuff. Is comedic beat just like it evolves over time, but it never ages well. Like I rewatched Waiting like 2 years ago. Oh my god, just doesn't age well at all. He's got a few things like that where I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe I ever like thought this is the funniest thing ever, but I did. Neither of the Deadpool movies age that well, but when I watched them, I enjoyed them, which I think is like the important thing to keep in mind.
Yeah,
when I watched these, they were very funny.
It's time capsules a little bit. You got to judge it for the time it came out. But like there'll be lines where he'll just be like, yeah, you douche nozzle, fuck nugget. And I'm just like, this was really the joke. But then like the other ones in it are good. So like they age a little bit better. I think there's less of those type of jokes in Deadpool 2, which is nice. But overall wasn't as funny, maybe. But yeah, so I mean, I think it'll be solid. They had a new trailer for the Shane Gillis series. Trailers. What was it? What are they called?
It was like a clip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a little clip.
Unless there was another trailer.
Looks funny. I mean, he's not doing the movie critic, and he's not doing the beer Olympics, I guess, either. So I mean, he's a free man to do funnier shit like this.
Sneaky has like some decent acting chops, like comedic acting chops. Like not every comedian has that in their bag. Mm-hmm. There's one, they tried to put one comedian in this show I watched recently called Fallout. Man, he was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
He was awful. I was so glad when he got killed off.
For a second, I thought you were talking about the other Squire in that is very funny. He's from Superstore. I don't know if you've seen him before.
Yes. I couldn't. Oh, that's what he was from. He dated the one girl.
He's like a white rapper.
Yes.
Yeah, I think his name's like Johnny Pembroke or something.
I could not place him for the life of me. I was like, I've seen him in something. I cannot remember what though.
I started rewatching Superstore because of seeing him in Fallout. I forgot how fucking funny Superstore is. It's so funny. Very, especially Dina. Like the character Dina is laugh out loud funny every line. She's so good. But yeah, the series looks good. I mean, anything Shane Gillis will kind of touch the gold, or turn to gold a little bit. Whether I think at this point whether it deserves it or not. And I think I saw like an interview with some comedian or something like that who said something that it might have been like Jesselnick or something, who I'm not like super high on or anything like that. But he said something I think is true of some Gillis fans, where it's like people think he is the only person that can be a comedian. You know what I mean? Like people like they think like if another comedian does something, it can't exist because it's not Shane Gillis. You know what I mean? And it's just like an odd sensation that I think the number one, the top dog in the scene usually gets that sort of treatment. But I just find that it is very odd. That sort of like hatred for anything that's not him, I guess. But anything he touches,
which is crazy,
will turn to gold. And I think Tim Robinson, to a degree, kind of maybe gets that sort of treatment too. Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Ray Fiennes have joined 28 years later. Danny Boyle directing again. 28 Days Later, I think, is one of the best. Well, fuck you if you say it's not a zombie movie. It's a zombie movie. Yeah, I think it's one of the best zombie movies ever made.
How would it not be?
People, because they're not undead, they're still alive. People get very
whatever.
They get really shitty about this. And the same thing with like other movies where it's like an infection and not like it's like, bro, you turn to a zombies.
Vampires. Yeah, zombies or vampires. Yeah.
You're a zombie, you're a zombie. It's a mindset. The 28 weeks later, I think, was not as good as it. Kind of like a twist turned into like an action, like less of like a cool like introspection thing and like more of like just a pure action horror thing, which is whatever. I still like a lot about it. I think the main Scottish dude that was in was really good, and like that whole scene where he turns was crazy. This already great cast. I mean, Jodie Comer is one of the best, like I would say, like newer on the scene actresses. I would say, like, because Killing Eve, I think it was like her coming out party. She's incredible. ATJ is obviously having like a huge moment. Ray Fiennes is one of the better British actors in the world right now. Great cast.
Ever.
Boyle back on. Love all of it.
Yeah, no, Ray Fiennes is someone on Twitter the other day like posted a thread because they had recently watched something Ray Fiennes for the first time. And they were just going through his roles, and he really maybe doesn't get the flowers he deserves as like one of the greats, maybe ever.
It's crazy, dude. Fucking like makes his bones on Schindler's List, like playing one of the most menacing fucking Nazis like ever in history of film, whatever. And then goes on to like 500 other like iconic, incredible roles. And like people are like, oh, Harry Potter. Like, and that's like his 50th best role. Like that's how good he is.
Yeah. Yeah. So do we know if Garland is going to come back and write this? Because obviously Garland said he's done directing, but the man can still write.
Good question. I don't know. I mean, this movie would be set, I guess if the first one was... Oh, wait, actually we're closing in on actual 28 years later, because I guess the first one was takes place in like 2002.
Fuck.
Damn.
Are they really playing this out?
I don't know, but I mean it kind of is like 28 years later. It'll be close.
Danny Boyle didn't even do the second one.
I don't think so. No, it was shit, I forget
it's someone random.
Yeah. That was what a weird movie. I think that was like it was Renner was like the main dude, and then they had like Imogen Poots, whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm. Imogen Poots.
Yeah, funniest name, great actress, funniest name. Imogen, so fucking funny. You
gotta change your name.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm down for this. But yeah, that's all the news for the most part. Nothing else too crazy. I think we could talk about some of the other things, and then we'll do Shogun last.
Did you
X-Men
see Lord of the
97
Rings, by the way?
What?
Sorry, not to jump in. Last news item, in case you haven't been online the past couple days. Lord of the Rings going in theaters, extended editions.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yep. Yeah.
By the way, did you see my little chat with Sam Raimi at that red carpet?
No, I haven't watched the video yet, but you described.
I just posted the clip, just like the 11-second clip on Twitter. It was brutal. So like, I went to the red carpet for Boy Kills World for the Barcelona Chicago Film Festival, and I guess I tried to think of like half decent questions for everyone that would be like maybe something a little funnier or whatever. The one I got for Sam Raimi was like he had like Spider-Man 2 re-released and was like the highest grossing movie in domestic box office, and so I asked him like, oh, is Crime Wave up next, which is like a very shitty movie, like the second movie he ever made, which is anybody's second movie ever made. It's going to be crap. And he looked at me like I killed his firstborn. It was I got no selled. It was a tough scene. But other than that,
pretty
very
shocking too.
Yeah,
he seems like a very self-aware director. Like he knows
I don't know. I mean, maybe
he's willing to laugh at them. Yeah, I feel like he'd be willing to laugh at like his mistakes and kind of takes pleasure in them. But yeah, that's kind of weird. Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so
you should have asked him if he's directing Spider-Man 4. You should have been the 200th person to ask him that.
I did, and I made a point to say exactly that. I said, I have to ask you this because if I don't ask you this, I'll get yelled at. But are you going to direct Spider-Man 4? And he's like, no. Also asked Famke Janssen if she was going to be in Deadpool Wolverine.
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hate that.
Also said no to that. By the way, she's tall as fuck. Holy shit. Dude, she was like 2 inches taller than me. It was crazy. I didn't expect that.
Who's she married to?
I don't know.
Isn't she married to someone famous? I can't remember. Whatever. Let's get into X-Men 97.
X-Men 97 has been absolutely sick. It's been one of my favorite animated series of like the last few years. It's so fucking good. It's great. It makes no sense. And again, I didn't really watch like the original, also I don't know like a much of like a basis. I don't know if like the original was as good as this is currently, but it's amazing. It's like a legit good thing. I don't know how kids would feel about it, but as an adult, I'm like, this is fucking cool. This is really good stories. Looks amazing. Voice actors, like the original ones are great. The new ones are great. And I think like all the little plot lines that they've been like weaving in and out of have been nice and well executed.
That is a good question. I do wonder if kids enjoy this. Because it is kind of heavy in spots.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
A little dense, like especially in the dialogue, like tackling stuff that I don't know if a kid is really even aware of. Mm-hmm. But besides that, the animation is just fucking incredible. Like Marvel for the longest time just could not figure it out. I mean, even going back to like the original X-Men series, even for the time, doesn't look fantastic. Like it's choppy. They have great moments, but a lot of it does not look great, especially when you juxtapose it next to like Batman the animated series, the Superman animated series, Batman Beyond, like all that stuff kind of looked and was a lot smoother. This is blowing everything. This blows Invincible out of the water in terms of animation. I think it looks great, just fantastic, so smooth. The character designs, the colors, it's its own unique style. Yeah, like I'm really shocked Marvel pulled this out.
Mm-hmm. It makes it's really out of nowhere too. I feel like it kind of in my brain when I heard originally it, like the first thought is like, oh, that's cool, and then the second thought is like, oh, this might just be like kind of a nostalgia cash grab. You know what I mean? And I think that
absolutely.
Sure, you could still say it's a nostalgia cash grab, but I think they did put a ton of effort into it. And I think it's paid off. It's legitimately a very good storyline, which I like. The Sympathizer's been really good on Max so far. Only 2 episodes in, but been very, very entertaining. I'm not sure did you watch the last one?
Nope, I still haven't watched the first one, buddy.
Yeah, but it's been really good so far. I've been hearing a lot about Baby Reindeer.
Wait, what?
You ever heard Baby Reindeer?
I see Netflix retweeting people who post because Netflix will like retweet anyone with like 10 followers if they tweet about one of their shows.
Yes.
They've been doing a lot of Baby Reindeer retweeting lately, but I just figured it was like whatever the like warrior nuns shit, like shit that I just have never heard of that just exists in a sphere that I'll never go to.
Apparently it's incredible. I mean, from everyone I know that's seen it, they're like, oh my God, this is insane. The craziest thing I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. From what I understand, it's essentially like the show You, but it's good. Like where You is kind of shitty. Like this kind of like is way better. And I heard he's like gets a lot of crazy twists and turns. I don't know much else about it though. I know it's based on like a true story of like a stalker of a comedian or some shit like that. But I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Heard a lot of good news though. Adding that to the list. And then let's do. You give your Challengers thoughts, and then we'll do Shogun after that.
Okay, yeah. So I saw Challengers last night. AMC 34th Street, Dolby,
Shitty.
packed house. It's a fine theater. It's not my preferred pick, but theater was packed. Even the front row. Very good movie. Very good. Will definitely be Guadagnino's highest grossing movie. There's like, I bet it will outgross like his last 5 movies combined. O'Connor and Feist are great together. Unbelievable chemistry.
How gay is Feist?
That's the two. Pretty gay, but like not that gay. The funny way he tackles their like relationship that is obviously bi-curious. If that's not a spoiler, if you've watched a Guadagnino movie or even heard of one, they're all like that. It's very fun because they just act like 2 guys that are just friends. Like the shit that they do is just shit like you and your friend will do. Like they just fuck with each other nonstop. So they're great together. Zendaya, good. I've seen like Oscar hype for her. She's good. She's good. The highlight of the movie, though, there's 2 of them actually. The way they shoot the tennis is incredible. I mean this in a nice way. Like think of like the best Nike commercials and Gatorade commercials from your childhood, and the way they shoot sports in those, where it's like just absolutely grabs your attention, doesn't let it go for 90 seconds. 2 minutes, however long the commercial is. That is what the tennis is like in Challengers, but like for extended runs, they do such a good job of like just mixing it in and doing different fun stuff. Like you're the ball. They're going to do this from a GoPro. They're going to switch sides. You're going to be underneath the tennis court, bird's eye view. Tennis isn't the very popular sport for a reason, but they do their best to make it like exciting. Mm-hmm. And then the score is like, I thought Dune Part 2 would have it locked up. This might actually challenge it. Like, pun intended.
Reznor and Ross?
Yeah, Reznor and Ross. This score is like, it's going to be played at clubs. It'll be on every workout playlist. Like, it is an absolute banger soundtrack. Unbelievable. So definitely see it in theaters. I enjoy the Dolby experience because of that score, but see it. Just go see it. It's not overly, like there's not a ton
bring
of
your
sex,
mom, bring your dad.
I should say. It's a lot of foreplay. Good foreplay.
Good foreplay. Yeah, make sure to bring your parents and family to go see Challengers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shogun just ended this Tuesday. This is a show where watching it throughout the first season, I kind of felt like, and a lot of people had mentioned this too. The Game of Thrones highlights or comparisons were very warranted. Like the highs of like the intrigue were incredible. Set design was amazing. They shot gorgeously, so well. Like just fucking beautiful to look at. Actors were all incredible. I think it was very immersive because of the fact that like not only do you get all these like crazy good costumes and like things like that, but like the fact that we get like 80% of the dialogue in Japanese, I think helps a ton. I think a whole lot of it was amazing. And from what I've been told, the series was very faithful to the book. I did not like the ending to this one bit.
Oh,
I did not. I was tremendously bummed out by how they ended it. It's one of the most like abrupt endings to a miniseries I think I've ever seen in my life. And like for me, like going into this episode, I'm thinking like, oh, this has the potential to be like up in my favorite all-time miniseries list, like Chernobyl or something like that, which ended on an incredible note. One of the best all-time finales of a miniseries. Yeah. Or Band of Brothers, same thing. Like the ending to this was so abrupt, and people are saying like, oh, it's faithful to the book. Oh, but it's like it's talking about like the hidden heart and everything's a little more subtle than that. And like, there was just, to me, watching this last episode, such a lack of that like catharsis for 9 episodes of tension and buildup and storylines and intrigue and all this shit that's been happening. And like, you don't really get like even like kind of really mini climaxes throughout. Like you get like little tiny scenes every now and then, but you don't really have a lot of peaks. So I'm like really expecting going to this finale, like we're going to get like There's been all this build up. We're going to get like this big boom climax. It was the opposite of that. It felt like it went out on such a whimper. And to me, that it was a huge bummer of an ending. I still would recommend it to people because I think that the rest, like it's 9 episodes of incredible television and then just 1 episode that is relatively disappointing to the rest of the series. But yeah, I was really, really bummed out by it. And this is, again, no spoilers yet, but I don't know. What do you think?
I like the series as a whole. Like, I think it's like good, very, very good, especially for cable television. But yeah, like you said, I don't think it had that like knockout punch at any point that puts you on the floor. Which is really the mark of like a great series. Like a great series will give you that moment in their first season, like at least one of them. Like even Game of Thrones, people didn't love the first season, but it has that one fucking punch at the end that just really seals the deal. Like that Ned Stark.
Dude, that's not even the end. That's in the middle of the season. That's like episode 5.
Oh, I didn't even. Is that really not the end of the season?
No, that's like middle later part of the first season. I forget what the actual like series finale moment is. It might be like them all marching out to do something. I forget what. But that wasn't even the fucking last episode of the season. It's crazy.
But still, the point remains. Like that one, like you need that moment. You really need that moment. You can get it early in the season. You can get middle of the season, late in the season. But I don't think we ever got that, which is pretty frustrating. Like there's definitely emotional beats that are amazing. But they're so personal. Like the stuff with Mariko is so personal that it's really hard to get overly excited or, blown away by it.
Yeah, I needed
Bunter stuff. I mean, it was just great.
Yeah. It's just it needed. By the way, I'm just looking up really quick what happens at the last. Okay, the finale was Robb declaring himself king, and then they all kind of fight back against him.
Yeah.
And then what's her name?
Another great.
And
moment.
then Daenerys waking up from the fire with all the dragons, which is that's crazy. A knockout punch.
Yep. See.
And like even then, like those series, they don't even necessarily need them on that level because they're setting themselves up for more. Like this is a miniseries. This should only be this one storyline, and that's it. You know what I mean? So they need that sort of punch, and it just at no point, like you get like little jabs, you're getting nothing close to a knockout punch. And I feel like that the ending really ended on such an abrupt and sudden note that it kind of pissed me off. Because I was so fucking invested. I'm like sitting there watching it when the episodes come out. I'm like stopping everything I'm doing to this because like it really is setting itself up for doing something so cool. And it just felt like such a fucking whimper. And that it's just such a bummer.
Well, if you had what was it? I can't even remember his name now. Toranaga Stocks. You're loving that episode. Guy he never lifted a fucking finger. He really didn't. He didn't do shit.
Didn't show the fucking battle, dude. Like, and the battle didn't need to be the catharsis.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is fine. You don't need to have the big battle. You need to have something. That's it. Just something. Okay, but yeah. So,
by the way, do you want them to go off book? They've said that they are open to a season 2, but they don't know where they'd go. On their own.
So Hiroyuki Sanada is like the EP on it, and like if he has an idea for it, like where he would want to go in this next season, sure. I don't want it to be left up to really anybody else because I feel like if it's his handprint and somebody that knows that sort of culture and history better, sure, if they have an idea for it. I don't want it to be some, Paul Westwood fucking motherfucker doing it or whatever. But yeah,
listen,
be down for that.
Listen to this idea. Sanada senpai, if you're listening, I know you are. Here's my idea. You don't stay in Japan. This is going to be called the Little Boy Fantasy Anthology Series. Just anything when you were a boy, what you wanted to grow up and be. Samurai, cowboy, knight, gladiator. We hit all those, just single season miniseries. FX, you keep pumping those out, one a year, one every other year. I would fucking love that.
Pirate.
Because that's what it really made me realize. I was just like, this is safe because they're samurais, man. At some point, like it's like just man, these samurais are fucking cool.
Samurai, cowboy, pirate, spaceman.
Yeah.
Some people say garbage man. Some people say dinosaur. Some people say, really, you're right about that. And then I kind of went straight from Shogun to rewatching Black Sails too. So like it really does kind of like fall straight. It is sick because they're fucking pirates.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very fucking cool.
You don't have to dress it up.
But yeah, that's Shogun. I don't know. I'm down to see them do the other. Was it McClellan as the guy, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, from everything I've heard from people that like read those books, they all say like Shogun was the worst of that series, and it still turned out like that good. So if they wanted to adapt other ones from his catalog, down, maybe make some changes to the end.
Clavel, that's his name. Clavel.
Okay,
just remember.
Yeah, but yeah, go and change the ending if it ends on such a, I don't know, like a
come on,
like a weak fart.
Take your liberties.
Yeah, if you're gonna take liberty, like they didn't take liberties really anywhere from whatever everyone was saying. Take a liberty there. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna do quick 5 streaming picks. We can just list them off like in a. We'll just do like all 5 at once for each of us. For my 5, I'll say Black Sails because like I just mentioned before, pirates are sick. Black Sails is so fucking good. More people now that it dropped on Netflix, people are like replying to me being like, "Oh, you should have started Black Sails. It's amazing. It's amazing." Be one of those people. Be one of those people discovering an incredible show, one of the best. Like, and you are talking about shows that like really hit those highs of Game of Thrones. This is it, and it's just 4 seasons of excellence and an awesome ending too. Really, 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 really good series. War for the Planet.
I won't lie, Kenjac. It's been all over my timeline. It's been all over my Twitter timeline for the past week, ever since it got added to Netflix, and I might try it again.
Give it a try.
Might have to try it again.
Like 2 episodes deep. I mean, I was hooked after episode 1, but I think you get 2 episodes deep, you'll be into it. All right. War for the Planet of the Apes on Max. Obviously, new ape movie coming out soon. I think War was awesome. So good. All the apes were great. All the humans were great. Woody Harrelson was awesome. Fun aspect. I rewatched it a couple weeks ago. Really enjoyed it. Fallout on Prime. We've talked about it ad nauseum, but Fallout really was just that fucking good, man. It is, and it's made people like all the reports and everything. Like it's like the most purchased game. Game came out in like 2016. Fallout 4 is like the most purchased game in the world right now because people are they like the show.
I thought about buying it.
I just re-downloaded it on my PS5 to get the update because they did like a next gen update, which is also crazy good. But the show is amazing, really good original story, lots of great stuff for the fans. Really, really, really good. Another sci-fi thing, Prometheus on Hulu. Again, we talk about Prometheus ad nauseum. One of my favorite movies that didn't get the respect it deserves, I don't think, in the sci-fi realm. And then Chernobyl on Max. We just talked about that too a little bit. Chernobyl, I think, is I would say probably the best miniseries ever made. It's so fucking good. It's unbelievable, just top to bottom, every single level you could possibly think of filmmaking. Just a perfect series.
No, those are great picks. Yeah, Chernobyl's fucking incredible. Yeah. It's really tough to top, but I do consider True Detective season 1 just a miniseries, and I just don't address. Don't address the later seasons. I just act like that's a miniseries. All right, I'm gonna go. We just did a dozen challenge. Unbreakable on Max. First up, M. Night Shyamalan, new trailer this week or last week. We reacted to it last week. M. Night's a good director. He's had some obviously very, very bad movies, but for the most part, like most of his catalog's pretty good. And I really like Unbreakable. Like it's a fun, kind of goofy comic book movie in a way. Is it based on a comic book?
I don't think so. He owns a comic book store, right? The Samuel L. character.
Yes. So. And it's very comic book inspired. Very fun movie. It's awesome. Yeah, no, like it kind of keeps you guessing like any other Shyamalan movie would. Mm-hmm. Next up, just watched this for the first time last week. Paper Moon, starring Ryan O'Neal and his daughter Tatum O'Neal. Very funny, just incredibly charming movie. It's very surprising. It's PG because it's got like his daughter smoking cigs in it and a fair amount of cuss words throughout. But it is like the girl dad movie to end all girl dad movies. Very fun time. They're 2 con men working together, basically. Good time. That's on Max. Next up, Sympathizer in the news. Great series, at least from reports. I'm recommending his most recent movie. I think this is his most recent movie, Decision to Leave.
Yeah.
That's on Mubi, which is a service worth checking out. They have 7-day free trials all the time. Really cool catalog, though, because they have stuff that just no other service has. They don't have the shit that just gets passed around from place to place. Decision to Leave is one of those. Great movie. I cannot believe it did not get nominated for Best Cinematography when it came out. It's one of the coolest looking movies ever made. next up, Call Me by Your Name on Hulu. If you've never seen it and you've kind of held off on it, now's the time. It's a good primer to know what you're getting into with Guadagnino. It's my favorite of his. It's a good movie. Armie Hammer's a bad person, but there's no way around it. It's a very good movie. And then Ran on Prime Video. We've been talking a lot about Shogun. Ran is on Prime Video. It's almost never streaming anywhere. Akira Kurosawa. It's a King Lear adaptation. So think Succession, think Game of Thrones, something like that. Battling for the throne. Who will succeed the king? Just like I said with Decision to Leave, this is a beautiful movie. It's in color, which you may not associate with Kurosawa, but in color, looks fantastic. He painted flowers, I think, on the field. He was painting the flowers to enrich the color on the film. Looks amazing.
I have that on Blu-ray up here somewhere.
Ran? Yeah. That's one I want really bad.
Yeah, really good movie. So my 5 again: Black Sails, War for the Planet of the Apes, Fallout, Prometheus, and Chernobyl. And your 5?
Unbreakable on Max, Paper Moon on Max, Decision to Leave on Mubi, Call Me by Your Name on Hulu, and Ran on Prime Video. RAN.
Oh, I forgot I had a physical media haul a couple days ago. Let's see. You got Mean Streets. You got The Samurai. You got
I just saw that
Great
in theaters.
Escape. Michael Mann Classic Thief.
Nice.
And then Miller's Crossing, which I can't believe it took Clemmer that long to get.
Oh, hell yeah. Took him a while, but he did pull all of them.
He did. Yeah, it is very impressive. He got there, but I thought it'd be quicker because to me, it's such like a.
He got the alternative. He got the alternative being John Malkovich.
That was very impressive.
Poster, which
okay, but that's Last Ground Bar. So we will be back next week. What movie should we promote watching?
Is it? It's not Apes, is it? Fall Guy.
Fall Guy out? Oh, nice. That would be cool. Fall Guy's awesome.
Is that next week?
Release date May 3rd. So is that like next Thursday?
That is next week, yeah.
But yeah, go watch that. So, I mean, very good movie too. And I saw it a couple weeks ago. Very, very, very fun. I think you guys will enjoy it. But until then, we will see you guys next week.